I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, but tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls till you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. You colder than the avalanche, way above average. Fans taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad, telling me how them crackers turn this childhood to a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, so tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty to handle. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Round with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence,
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put millions of my actions. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Mere fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
It's in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Yahbashim Yahshai Barakatham to the brothers, Yahshua Malatham Bashim Yahshai to the sisters. Police Officer Parak holding down the Sabbath service for the ISUPK out of Arizona. If you're watching online, you can see at the very bottom of the screen our class location, right? 12416 North 28th Drive, right off of the corner of 28th Drive and Cactus. We're in suite number 4. All right. Classes every Tuesday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And every Saturday we hold our Sabbath services from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right, so today we're going to be in the book of Isaiah, chapter 47. We're going to be talking about Babylon. We're talking about, I like to reserve like these Sabbath services. There's something specific that I like to teach on the Sabbath because we're in captivity right now with everything taken from us. You understand? We're in the land of our captivity, and we hold down this Sabbath service as though we're not. Like we hold down the Sabbath service as though we're still in our land. We keep it holy. You understand? And we do what we can, and that's the point when we serve the Most High. Like serving the Most High is to do everything within your power to make sure that the Most High is well pleased with you. Another aspect, of course, is that the Lord is going to redeem us. That's kind of what we're going to be talking about. This is a common theme that I keep with my Sabbath services, because although we have to hold this Sabbath service in our captivity, the Lord is going to redeem us out of that. And one day we'll be able to hold a fully righteous Sabbath service that, in our land, you understand? And that's going to be a glorious thing. But in order for that to take place, we have to go through the events that are going to take place before that can even happen. And that's why I like to talk about our oppressor being put down. I like to talk about, you understand, us being risen back up into that state. I talk about that a lot on these Sabbath services because it's important. It's really important. You understand? And the sooner that our people can understand how important these things are, like people think we talk about, our oppressor being the devil. We talk about the fact that, Christ is going to crack the sky and put to death all of our oppressors and all of those that have oppressed us. You understand? Preaching what they would call hate, which is really just love for our brothers, but they think we're just so hateful. The thing is, none of that is true. You understand? The truth is that we have to talk about these things because it puts us in a mind state. It puts us in the right mind state. The scriptures talk about the mind state that the prophets and that the children of Israel are supposed to have. The mind state that we're supposed to have is that we look to the Most High for deliverance. And so when you go through this Bible, another point that I like to prove is that I can teach so many different lessons about our oppressor being cast down and us being risen up from so many different scriptures in the Bible because that is literally the gospel. That's the gospel that you find in the book of Luke. That's the gospel that you find in the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. You understand? That's the gospel. And so it's important for us to talk about the gospel. See, the problem is that people have their minds in the wrong place. They're not in the right headspace. So when people talk about the gospel, like Christians and things like that, when they talk about the gospel, they're talking about Jesus, loving every goddamn body. That's what they talk about. But in all actuality, we can read the gospel, and the gospel literally tells us that the gospel is to make free the captives. That's literally the gospel, to make free the captives. The gospel is this. If you read the entire chapter of Isaiah 60, I believe it's either 60 or 61, you'll understand what Christ was referencing, and you'll understand what the gospel is. The gospel is freeing the Israelites from oppression and making them on high. That's what the gospel is. So my point is, we have to talk about this thing. Christians always talk about what they think the gospel is. Well, who are you to tell me that I can't speak about what I know the gospel is? You understand? And that's what this class is going to be about. It's going to be about the gospel. All right. And the main aspect of that, of course, is that, the Most High is going to destroy Babylon and raise up the Israelites. That's it. We'll get the precepts. We'll get some understanding. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start with these prayers. All right. Imagine. Which means to turn face to east. We're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Tabaa, Watazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Mashamaya, Nathan Salaki, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kal Watnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kal Watinawa, Wala, Tabayanawa, Wanasai 1, Salaki, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapara, Laiwalamyam, Aman, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Be a cock with the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kushai, Nathalanawa Hakak, Hakak Larapa'ah, Kal Maka'ala, Wakal Madawa, Hakak Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak Lakwayam, Amathium, Hakak Arakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagar Shan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for what I'm in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121, beginning with the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharya, Mayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Wagalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Ayad, Yanyan Yawamam, Hashama, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarach, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Saza Afka, Waba, Waka, Ma'itha, Wai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the
I will
hills.
lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasha'Allah
he that keepeth Yahshua
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in.
from this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
We're going to read Psalms the 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Aldamaya Laka,
Aldama Yalaka,
Al Thakarash,
Al Takarash,
Wa'al,
Wa'al,
Dashakwat,
Dashakwat,
Al,
Al,
Kayahana,
Kayahana,
Awayabika,
Awayabika,
Yahamaya 1,
Yahamaya 1,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
Al Imaka,
Ya'arayamwa,
Ya'arayamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Wayatha,
Ya'itazawa,
Ya'itazawa,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Al Tasapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashala,
Sham Yashala,
Iwada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Nawaitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Alyaka,
Alyaka,
Baryath,
Baryath,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahalya,
Ahalya,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashamayalia,
Yashma'alim,
Mawa'ab, Mawa'aba,
Mawa'ab,
Wagarya,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalak,
Waimalak,
Palashath,
Palashat,
Anyashabya,
Yeshabya,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarawai,
Sarawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadyan,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabyan,
Banakal,
Banakal,
Kwayashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamagwa,
Nashamagwa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
La'adama,
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yabawa,
Ka'ira,
Kaira,
Wakazaaba,
Kaza'aba,
Wakazabak,
Kazabak,
Wakazazal,
Kazal,
Mana'ai,
Manai,
Call,
Call,
Nasayakamwa,
Messiah Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nayarashah,
Neirashah,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath,
Ah,
Na'awath,
Nawat,
Alahayam,
Alahaya,
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 Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagalgala,
Kagalgala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya Rakah,
Lapanya Rakah,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Nabaira,
Tabaira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakalahabah,
Wakalahabah,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Haryam,
Aryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Taradapma,
Masairaka,
Masairaka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapafka,
Wapafka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahawa,
Wayabahawa,
Aya'ai,
Aya'ai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kayatha,
Kayatha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Ayawan,
Ayawan,
Akar,
Alkal,
Alright,
Alrat.
we're going to read Psalms 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still, O God.
Be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden
and
ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a
and
nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Yasha'Allah
That the name of Yahshua
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the
and the
Hagarenes,
Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and
the
Amalek, the
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera.
as to Jabin,
As to
at
Jabin.
the brook of
The
Kasan,
book of Kisan.
which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a red.
and like Zeeb.
And like Zeeb.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Abba,
All their princes as Sabbath.
and as Amunah,
And as Amunah.
who said,
Who said,
Let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to
the
ourselves
houses of
the
God
houses of God
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on
And
fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
And men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone, is
is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
art the most high of all the earth.
art the most high of all the earth.
All right, the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Ma'aka Allah.
Wa Ma'aka Allah.
Wa Lahayim.
Allah Hayim.
Matazabi Ah.
Matzazabi
Allah Wab Yahana.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Hala Wapyam.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam.
Akwatazayanyam.
Akwatazayanyam.
Slaki Hakayoyam.
Hakaya Yalyam.
Wa Akwathim.
Wa Akwat.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wa Shem Yahweh Shai.
Wa Shem Yahweh Shai.
The Walaman.
The Waraman.
Blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahana.
Commanding General Yahana.
The generals.
The general.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
Thank you. So be it.
Sorry while you're shopping. You can be seated. All right. Once again, like I said, we're going to be in Isaiah, the 47th chapter. All right. Quick. So what we're going to do, we're going to read Isaiah chapter 47, the first 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we'll read it in the English, and we'll break it down, get some precepts, understand the whole thing. So we're going to begin at verse 1. So Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. Radyah, Washabya, Al, Ipar, Bathawalath, Bath, Babal, Shabya, La Rataza, Ayun, Kasa, Kath, Kashadya, Kashadyum, Kaya, La'a, Thawasayapya, Wakarawa, Laka, Raka, Wa'inaga, verse 2, Kwaya, Rakayam, Wasakanya, Kwamak, Galya, Tazamatka, Kashap, Shabal, Galya, Shawak, Ibarya, Naha Rawath, verse 3, Fagal, Arwa, with Ka, Gum, Thara'ah, Karapathka, Naquam, Aquak, Wala'a, Apagai, Adam, verse 4, Ga'al Nawa, Yahweh, Tazabawath, Shamwa, Quadawash, Yashala, verse 5, Shabya, Dawamam, Wabaya, Bakashak, Bath, Kashadyam, Kaya, La'a, Thawasayapya, Ikwarawa, Laka, Gabartha, Amalakwath, verse 6, Quatazapathia, Al, Amya, Kalathia, Nakalathia, Wa'athanam, Bayadka, La'a, Shamath, Laham, Rahamayam, Al, Wakwan, Hakawadath, Alka, Ma'ad, verse 7, Watha Amarya, La'iwalam, Ahaya, Gabartha, Al, La'a, Shamtha, Allah, Al, It's like a Labka, La'a, Zakartha, it's like a Akaryatha. So that was the first 7 verses. All right, in the Hebrew. So now we're going to read those same 7 verses in the English and break it on down. So this is Isaiah, the 47th chapter, beginning of verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." What is this talking about? Now we understand in times past, especially during the time of Isaiah and Jeremiah, the prophets of old, that we was in the Babylonian captivity. All right, this is 2,600 years ago. You understand? But this prophecy, and we're going to read it in the New Testament as well, this prophecy is also talking about something that we're experiencing today. Right now, we're in a place that the scriptures call Mystery Babylon. We're in a place that is called the daughter of Babylon. And I'll show that to you in just a second, but I want y'all to understand what the Most High is prophesying here. All right, what the Most High is saying needs to happen to this kingdom, whatever empire this is that this kingdom needs to be brought down to the dust, meaning to a lower state. All right. We understand that that's what that means. You ever heard somebody say, "I got it out the mud"? That's because they began at a very low estate. Well, that's the same type of verbiage that the Bible talks about. It uses that same type of verbiage. All right. And that's what that dust is. It's a low estate. Well, the Most High is saying, "Come and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Sit on the ground. Right. There is no throne, meaning you don't get to have the high estate anymore. Our oppressor in this kingdom, especially America, is at such a high estate that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. We understand that. We see it every day. You understand? They do whatever they want to whoever they want. They can save whoever they want. They save the Ukrainians. You understand? They take refugees from all of the nations of people. They can do whatever they want. They can also trodden down the Mexican, the so-called Mexicans, the tribe of Issachar. They can keep them on the borders in them cages. They won't take those refugees. You know why? Because they can. Because they can do whatever they want. Well, the Most High is saying there's going to come a time when this people will not be able to do whatever they want. And there's going to come a time when they're going to go into the dust. They're going to know what it's like to feel like them Issacharite babies in them cages at the border. They're going to understand what that feels like because they're now going to go into the dust. And there will be no throne. They won't be able to exalt themselves any further, right? And the last part of verse 1 is heavy as hell, right? For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. America is such a sweet thing to everybody. Everybody looks like, oh, come to America. This is the place where all of your dreams can flourish. You can be whatever you want in America. You can even be a woman if you're a man. You can do whatever you want because everybody looks at you as just the perfect little angel. Everybody loves America, but the Most High doesn't. The Most High hates America. And if you're an Israelite, a child of God, then you should hate America too because this is that same Babylon. And once again, I told you, I proved it. We'll talk about it. But I want to get some more on what the Most High requires and is going to take place with Babylon, which is America. Verse 2 says, "Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen." What is this talking about? It's not literal. We're not talking about the fact that all of our oppressors are going to strip down naked. It's not what that's talking about. I don't think the Most High wants to see any of that. But what the Most High does want to be seen is your shame. The things that America should be ashamed about. That's what the Most High is going to require at your hand, you oppressors. He's going to require that at your hand. And you know how he's going to do it? He's doing it already. We are making aware the things that nobody wants to talk about. They tell us to forget slavery because they don't want us to remember the fact that you people raped our forefathers, raped our foremothers, cut babies out of their stomachs and fed them to alligators. Do you think that's something we should forget? Or should we remember and understand who our enemy is? We're not that far removed from those things happening, and those things are still happening today. You know, people are still getting lynched today. It's illegal to do. It used to not even be illegal. Now they have made it illegal to, do public lynchings, and it's still happening today. You know why? Because they don't have any shame. They're not ashamed of what they do. Nobody's talking about it, but guess what? In the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, we're going to talk about it. That's the uncovering of the shame, and this is what the biggest part about this whole master plan that the Most High has, is that one day it won't be about us talking about it in these classes where we got a couple people watching online, got a couple people in class, It ain't going to be just that. The Most High is going to publicly shame our oppressor, and he's going to put them to death. That's going to happen, right? Thy nakedness, verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Meaning right now, what you could do, this is why the Black Panthers fail, because the Black Panthers, is, as you know, maybe pure of intentions that they may have had, they met our oppressor as a man, and that's why their leader was murdered in his bed. You understand? Because it takes something spiritual to defeat this oppressor. You got the NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition. You know, they was around for a few years, and they leader, for one, he got locked up. But before he got locked up and the whole organization fell to piss, they were shooting themselves in the toes. I mean, it's just they meeting our oppressor as a man. The Most High said, I'm not going to meet you as a man. A man is fallible. I'm the Most High God. You know, in Genesis, the 6th chapter, the Most High said, I will not always strive with mankind because he is mankind. I'm the almighty creator. Who in the hell are you to me? You're an ant that I can step on. I could take a magnifying glass and burn your whole colony down. And that's what the Most High is going to do to America. He's not going to meet America as a man, because if we as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans united right now, but without the spiritual guidance of the Most High and under his laws, statutes, and commandments, and under his covenant, no matter if it's millions of us against thousands of them, we're going to lose. And that's evident within the Bible. We see evidence of that. When we thought we had it because we had more numbers, but the Most High wasn't with us, we lost. It's the same thing right now. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans linking up or joining hands right now does nothing unless it's the Most High is behind that. And for the Most High to be behind that, you would have to be keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments and be under one mindset. You understand? We all have to agree that you can't do drugs. We all have to agree that you cannot molest children. We all have to be on one accord. It's the only way this thing works. If you think that you can smoke a blunt before going out to war and it's okay with the Most High God, I can't rock with you. You understand? Because you're trying to meet these people as a man. You have to meet these people like the spirit of the Most High. And the Most High is telling the daughter of Babylon, right, which is literally talking about America, that the Most High is not going to meet this place like a man. Extraterrestrial things are going to happen to this place. Let's go to Revelation, the 17th chapter. I want to talk about it because this is something that a lot of Christians and a lot of Old Testament onlys and a lot of these different religious groups will say, well, no, Babylon is not talking about America. That's talking about the times of old when we was in Babylonian captivity. No, y'all got to understand something about these scriptures. The scriptures say that these scriptures are manifold. These prophecies, because we're such a stiff-necked people, these things are manifold. The Most High reveals these things to us in times past, then these things happen again. And that's why in Revelation, the 17th chapter, John the Revelator is, 500 or 600 years removed from the Babylonian captivity? And he's talking about Babylon being destroyed in a future vision. So we got to know that there's another Babylon. You understand? Y'all got to forgive me. I'm just a little bit under the weather. But there's another Babylon. So we have to figure out what that is. Well, let's go ahead and read this. I'm going to read Revelation, the 17th chapter. I'm going to start at the first verse. All right. And once again, this is a vision. All right. I'll explain the way these visions work, right? You got to think about the way, John the Revelator lived in the 1st century AD, okay? Or the 1st century CE, whatever you want to call it, right? 2,000 years ago. This is before you had modern technology. So the things that John the Revelator is explaining he can only explain it with what he knows. You understand? That's why he calls the things in the sky chariots. We know them today as UFOs. You understand? That's why, a lot of the visions that he has, it's visions. Let's think about the way that, I hate using this example, but this is the way a lot of people in the world could understand, is the way that some people will interpret dreams. Some people will say, well, you saw this in a dream. This really means that. That's the way visions work. You understand? The way Ezekiel described the chariot was a wheel within a wheel. He didn't know what the hell it was. He was like, what the hell is this? The only way he could describe it was just, it's a wheel within a wheel. You understand? He also had a vision that the Most High said to eat the scroll or eat the roll, right? telling him to there's a scroll that Ezekiel is supposed to what? Chew up and digest? No, it's talking about taking in knowledge. We understand that. But now there are deeper things that are in the Bible that it takes a lot more of the presence of the Most High's Holy Spirit to be able to reveal these things. And that's why John the Revelator, this like the book of Revelations, Christians should not touch because they don't have the spirit of the Most High God to break any of this down. So now with that, I just wanted to preface that with this. I wanted to preface this with that because I want y'all to understand the way the book of Revelations works. I also want y'all to just a shameless plug. I'm plugging in Officer Thabawan's Practical Knowledge. He goes over, he's doing a series. I think he's on part 6 right now, where he's breaking down every single chapter of the book of Revelations, all 22 chapters, every single one. So he already has chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. I believe he's on chapter 5. But go look up Practical Knowledge. You'll be able to find it. He's breaking it down because a priest needs to break these types of things down. All right. Just a plug. I wanted to plug that in. If y'all want to learn about the book of Revelations, go there. All right. So we're going to be in Revelation 17 and chapter 1. And it reads, "And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." Now, what is this place talking about? This great whore that's on many waters?
Salaki, sir. That's the United States military.
That's the United States. Where are we ever? I won't say we, Salaki. I want to disassociate myself from America. Where is the United States? Everywhere. They got bases in South Korea. They got bases in Bali. They got bases in Taiwan. They got bases all over the goddamn place. I mean, you gotta know what you're dealing with. This is a whore that sits on many waters. Why is it a whore? Because it's all over the goddamn place. You understand? It's all over the goddamn place like a thought running these goddamn streets. That's what America is, a goddamn thought. You understand? They're just putting its hand into everything that it can. That's what a thought is. That's what a whore is. A whore is somebody that just, takes all of the rides she can get. Just want to have a whole bunch of sex. That's America for you, man. That's America for you. America will just, put its dirty little fingers in any hole it can find because it wants whatever it can get. That's America. Well, this is an angel that's coming to meet John the Revelator, and John the Revelator is being told by this angel, I'm going to show you the doom that's going to happen, the destruction that's going to happen to this whore that sits on many waters. Now, once again, we'll keep reading. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed, fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with this place. You tell me another continent, country, city, state, anything who has had all of the kings of the world commit fornication with them, get involved in their dealings. That's America for you. America it's got its little nasty fingers in every hole it can find. That's America. America's even got dealings with its arch nemesis, Russia. I mean, America is in everything. And the kings of all of the kings of the earth have committed fornication with this whore that's called America. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. What is that talking about? The inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
So like I said, it means that all the other nations are just way too happy with how much money and how much lust they can take part in.
There you go. That's what that wine is. That wine that they're drunk with is the fact that they benefit off of America. Because America is making all of these deals and doing, involved in a lot of these different countries, these people are drunk with wine because they do whatever. Listen, if America got your back, you good. You know how I know? Ask Ukraine. Them Ukrainians are coming over here. Even the the Iranian people? Was it the Iranis the Afghani people? The Afghani people was able to come over here on not even shiploads, big planes full of people. All of them people. You know why? If America is with you, can't nobody be against you. You know why? You know why I say it like that? Because America wants to be God. They play God. You know how people say if God is with you, nobody can be against you. Well, that's the way America looks at themselves. And that's the way it's playing out. It's literally playing out like America is God on earth. And, the people that are against America are just the rebels. They're just rebelling against the Most High. That's basically what they make it seem like. You understand? But the reason why is because, all of these kings and all of these nations, they have been made drunk with the wine of America's fornication. Verse 3 says, so he carried me away in the spirit to the wilderness. So this is, of course, the angel. He's about to show John what's actually taking place or going to take place, right? And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now I can go into this whole 7 heads and 10 horns. That beast, with the book of Revelation, talks about that same beast multiple times. That beast are nothing but a bunch of Edomite nations. Let's get them for you. I got them written down. It's hard for me to remember them all the damn time. But it's a scarlet colored beast. What color is scarlet? What is that? Go ahead. Huh?
Red, purple.
Red. Scarlet is red. Scarlet is bright red.
Okay.
Now, what color did Esau come out?
Oh, wait. Red all over.
Red all over.
Like a hairy.
He was hairy as hell and he was red. So now this beast that the angel is showing John is a red beast. There's a woman that's sitting on this red beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. I'm going to quickly list out these 7 heads first, and then I'll break down the 10 horns. The 7 heads are they're the rulership or the government, like the superpowers. Like they're the superpowers. That's what the 7 heads are on this beast. That's what it signifies. All right, and those are the ones that they all came out of one beast. I'm going to explain, right? So I'm going to list these off to you, right? The 7 heads are Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and I'm counting wrong, and Russia and England, right? Those are the 7 heads. I'll list them off again. Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. Those are the head superpowers, all right? Now the 10 horns. The 10 horns are 10 nations that came from those superpowers, meaning they branched off from those superpowers. All right, I'm going to name those. Belgium, which came out of France. Netherlands, which came out of Germany. Luxembourg, which also came out of Germany. Denmark, which also came out of Germany. Ireland and Switzerland, that came out of Germany. Australia, which came out of England. USA out of England. And then you have Scotland and you have Sweden. And these nations come out of those 7 superpowers. Okay. That's what the breakdown is on the 7 heads and the 10 horns. But what makes it even heavier is that this beast is scarlet. It's red. It's Edom. These are all Edomite nations. So I want y'all to understand that. That's why I wanted to really get in here and break it down properly, because y'all got to understand this revelation is deeper than what a Christian church would break it down to you as. So let's go back. So now that y'all understand what those 7 heads and 10 that beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is, and they all stem out of Rome, but that beast and that beast with 7 heads and 10 horns are those Edomite nations. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't even going to read that. I was almost going to pass it by, but I can't not teach that with this lesson that we have today. All right. So let me see. So the angel carried away John in the spirit, right, into the wilderness. Reading in the middle of verse 3, Revelation chapter 17 and verse 3. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's what we just broke down, right? Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. So red and purple, right? And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. That's the beast that we're talking about. All of these nations combined come together and form Babylon the Great, which is a future prophecy after the Babylonian captivity. That's why I have to stress this. After the Babylonian captivity was done, And we were not at this time, we was under the Romans. Babylonian captivity is 500 years, 600 years in the past. But this is a future prophecy talking about the fact that there's going to be a beast. It's going to be a beast, 7 heads and 10 horns. And it's going to be called, and on a forehead, it's going to be called Mystery, Babylon the Great. Mystery is a heavy part and a heavy aspect of what is written on this beast's forehead. Because it's a mystery to so many people. A lot of people don't understand this. But we all understand that the scriptures say that the Most High reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets. And because we've had prophets in the ISUPK that have raised us up, and this is what bothers me. People say, oh, well, y'all can't be prophets. Well, why not? Do you think prophets stopped with Amos? Stopped with Malachi? Like, Malachi was the last prophet. That's it. No more prophets after that. There are always going to be prophets in this earth, forever and always. You know why you don't like us calling ourselves prophets? Because we're black, because we're niggas. Because we're some stupid spicks, savages. We just don't know, how could you be a prophet? Well, guess what? The Babylonians thought that Isaiah, thought that Daniel was a stupid nigga. He was a prophet, though. Good.
So I get everybody on earth except his 3 sons and their wives thought Noah was stupid.
Everybody thought Noah was just some stupid nigga. Everybody thought he was stupid. This nigga is crazy. He's not a prophet. Hey, that's a heavy point that you made. People thought that Noah was not a prophet, just like they think we're not prophets. We're saying something outlandish. I said this last week. We're saying something outlandish. We're saying that there is a black man with an afro that's going to crack the sky with a legion of angels and deliver black people and Hispanic people and Native people out of America and wherever they are scattered abroad. That's like foolish. Doesn't even make any sense. Crack the sky. What are you talking about? Well, guess what? There was a time when people didn't believe that when he said, the Most High is going to flood this place. You're going to drown if you don't get on this goddamn boat that I'm building out of gopher wood. They was like, this nigga is crazy as hell. Until it started raining, and it's like, oh, it's just a little bit of rain. And then it started raining like heavier. It's like, wow, that's a lot of rain. And then the floor was like not visible anymore because it started to flood. My house, this ceramic tile I got in here is going to be messed up because all of this flooding I got going on. My baseboard is going to be jammed up. I'm going to have to call the insurance company. I got to file a claim because I'm going to have a lot of water damage. And then it didn't stop raining. And it rained for weeks and weeks. And you said, well, goddamn, I should have listened to that crazy nigga Noah. I should have listened to that nigga because he sounded absolutely insane. But guess what? He was right. Well, look, we sound insane, but we're right. We're right. And listen, it's not up to us. I don't even really halfway give a damn. I just care about my brothers and sisters that are in this school and my family, make sure they straight. Besides that, my job is really to just make sure that you get on the boat. But point being, man, go ahead.
Shit, slack it, sir. I'll do you one better. Our job is just to tell them to get on the boat.
Yeah, that's it. What kind of fool and idiot would I look like dragging you by your nappy afro onto the boat? I gotta drag you on the no, nigga. I'm trying to save you. You want to die? I don't give a goddamn. I just make sure that my brothers and sisters is good. And if you don't want to be my brother and sister, don't think I'm off for saying this. This is scriptural. This is the Bible. Christ said, who is my mother and my sister and my brother and my father? Who is that? Who can I call my brother? Those that do the will of the Most High. So my job is to try to get you to do the will of the Most High. That's it. But if you don't do it, it's no sweat off of my back. My brothers and sisters are good because my brothers and sisters exist in here. Now, is that selfish? No, it's not, because selfish would be me not doing anything. If I didn't teach this class, if I didn't go out on the streets and teach, if I didn't put these things out there for y'all to hear, then that would be selfish. But if I'm doing the thing that Noah did, Noah could only save his family. And he didn't even have to, listen, his family could have been like, hey, dad is crazy. Like he could have been like, that really could have been that could have happened. His wife could have been like, this nigga Noah, man, god damn it, I'm getting a divorce. He spent all his time on that boat. Come later, ride, Noah. That's what his wife is saying. No time for ride, baby. I'm telling you, I gotta build this boat. All right. She probably like, hey, will you give me some ride once we get on the boat? Yes, baby, I'll give you some ride when we get on the boat. Yeah. She listened to her man. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Abraham. Abraham did some crazy shit, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, excuse my language, but Abraham left his family to go travel to a place he had never known because some voice in your ear told you to do it? His wife could have looked at him like, nigga, you done gone crazy. God damn it. She really could have did that. But you know what she did? She believed in that brother, and she was counted righteous for it, and she was saved for it. You understand? That's something we got to understand. So once again, like I said, I know I went on a long tangent there, but I want y'all to understand, you know, the things that are revealed to the prophet. Don't ever say, you know, well, you can't be a prophet. Niggas were saying that to Daniel. Niggas were saying that to Jeremiah. You know, they were saying that to Noah. Just understand something. If we say, if the ISUPK proclaims that our officers, captains, and generals are prophets, then that's what we're telling you. You should just take it. If I tell you that you're a plate of fried fish, then you should just believe that you're a plate of fried fish. You should just believe it, because we're always right. Now, let's. You have something you want to say? Go ahead.
Everybody thought Elijah was a false prophet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Until the Most High, heeded his words and said, you know what, Elijah is my prophet. I'm going to take you all out.
Mm-hmm.
And took them all out. Then everybody believed. Everybody was saying that Christ wasn't a real deal until they started seeing what he was doing, walking on water and calling people out of a damn tomb.
Right, for sure.
And spitting in some dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the things that Christ could do were audacious and grand in their demonstration, whereas he could have opened up the sky and had lightning come out and strike him in the face, and then he saw.
Right.
He took something that was medial and kind of disgusting, spit and mud,
mm-hmm.
rub it in their eyes, and now he can see all this.
Yes. And you look at a nigga like that, like, this nigga just spit in the mud and then rub it on a dude's face. He's got mental issues, but then brother can see. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the point. All right, but look, that's why I say I'm gonna read the verse again. I'm gonna explain why I just said all of the things that I just said, right? Revelation chapter 17, verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. That mystery has to be revealed. And us in the UPK, we were able to reveal that mystery because of the men that taught us. And that mystery is that Babylon the Great is America. Babylon the Great is that whore that sits upon many waters, right? And that beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns, we just broke all of that down. I just showed you that red beast is the same red man that came. That his name was Esau, right? That was red. The Bible calls him red. It's the same beast. I got a breakdown that Officer Kabatamov has been dying to hear, and something keeps getting. It's like a demon or something. Something keeps getting in the way. I have an exhaustive breakdown of our oppressor being the devil. Like this beast, I can take it all the way. And it's of course not, it's not my teaching. It's things that I've learned from the men above me. But I can take it all the way from, really, I could take it from Cain. But just to be, practical with it, I could take it all the way from Esau down to that 7-headed beast in Revelation. I can go all the way from the book of Genesis and bring it to Revelation and make it go full circle and explain just how our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Just a tidbit I wanted to throw in there. All right, so now I'm gonna read it again. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Why is it called the mother of harlots? Because go ahead.
Because all nations are filth before the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
This particular one has got the Most High's attention.
Yeah, for sure.
With the evil that they do. Yeah,
that's what it is. I say this all the time. There has never been a captivity worse than the captivity in America, or the second. I call it the second Babylonian captivity. This is Babylon. There's never been another captivity worse than this, and I'll explain. In the Babylonian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, there were terrible crimes committed against our people, against the Israelites, right? Terrible things. People was thrown in the fire. I mean, people was just getting killed day and night. But we still knew, like, didn't nobody have to go in the streets and say, hey, y'all are Israelites. Like, we knew it was Israel. We knew who our God was. We knew the God that we needed to serve. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego under the Babylonian captivity, they didn't need somebody to come and teach them who their God was. They never lost their identity. But in America, we lost our identity. They beat us so bad, and tortured us and did so many terrible things to us for those 400 years that we have to go in the street and teach our people that they are black. We have to teach them that they're Israelites. Does a Moabite ever have to go and teach his people, hey, did you know you're Chinese? Hey, man, no, listen, you're Chinese. Even the Chinese and the Japanese know they're different. And the Vietnamese, and they all kind of look similar, but they all know they're different because they've never lost their identity. We lost our identity. This place is the worst captivity. This is the whore, the mother of harlots, because this is the worst captivity. Not only did our men get buck broken and our women get raped and the babies tore out of their bodies and cut and thrown and used as alligator bait, and all of the terrible things that we could go on and on about that happened in the midst of slavery and still that are happening today, day in and day out. This Babylonian captivity that we're in today is kind of like the Babylonian captivity of aforetime, right? In the Babylonian captivity, we was allowed to roam and go work. We had to work, but we could have our own dwelling places and all types of things like that. The Egyptian captivity is a lot like what this is now. You just go out and work. We're slaves here. Why are you working for these billion-dollar corporations owned by white men? Because you got to. Because if you don't, you're going to go to jail. You're going to end up homeless. You're not going to be able to pay your rent. You're not going to be able to eat. But you don't understand that. Here's my point. This place is the worst captivity that we've ever dealt with because we don't understand that we're in captivity. If you go up the street and this is one of the worst things that people just can't understand for some reason. Okay. People don't understand that we're in captivity. If you go up the street and you ask, 10 black people if we're in captivity, if they believe we're in captivity, 8 out of those 10 are going to say no, possibly all 10. And the reason why is this, because this is the worst captivity. They have brainwashed us into thinking that we're free and we're in a great nation. I work with natives, right? A lot of natives. Right. And they love America for some reason. I'm like, why the hell would you love this place? This place is literally stolen from you, taken right from under your feet. Look, the reason why I know we're still in captivity is this. I'll start with the so-called Southern Kingdom tribes, right? We was taken from across the water. We was in the west coast of Africa. Now that's not our home, but let's just say that's where we were at the time, right? We were fleeing Roman persecution. We ended up staying there. Okay. We was taken by force, to serve slavery, to be under harsh bondage in this land called America. And we did that for like 300 years until they said, okay, you're free now. What do you mean I'm free? You brought me over here. Got to take me back. Right. I got to go back home. Right. Why can't I go back? Well, you're a free country, man. If you want to get over there, go ahead. Well, how am I don't got no money. Well, okay, well, you can work for me. You can work for me, and it won't be slavery. We'll just call it sharecropping. All it is just, you just work for me and you get a place to live. Work, 15, 16, 17 hours a day. Go home, go to sleep, come back, work a certain amount of time, and you have a place to stay. I'll make sure you get fed. Well, okay, I guess. Because what other choice did a nigga have? That's, why they didn't have another choice? Because it's captivity. It's the same thing. You didn't take me back home. You didn't set me back up with the same things, the same belongings that I had when you took me from my home. You didn't set me back up with it and take me there. You just said, okay, well, I took everything from you, and I took your home away from you, and I know you don't know how to get back there, but you're free. That's captivity, man. You're still in the captivity, right? And you literally you're 400 years behind. You get what I'm saying? You're 400 years behind because you have to you're expected to perform the same way that our oppressor performs when they're 400 years ahead of us because they used us to get ahead. You had something?
So, like, if I could, sir, how you break this down with brothers and sisters that are in the world using simple things that they can understand. Like, if you pay taxes to a government that is not your own race, you are a slave. If you need a certificate to be born, you need a passport to leave the country.
Right.
You commit a crime, you don't go to your race's ideal of jail or prison.
Right.
You go to their prison. That's captivity.
Right.
Them detaining you, we're in a military occupation. They invaded, they enslaved, they're marauders, they're mass murderers, they never left. That doesn't mean we're at peace. That means this is just like all the bases you spoke on earlier. This is just a permanent military base. This is their chief base.
Yeah, and that's another aspect to it. Like, and so that's okay. Now this is the heavy part. So you have that so-called Southern Kingdom coming over here, but what about the people that lived in this place? What about the so-called Native Americans, so-called Issacharites, so-called Seminole Indians, right? All of the different tribes of our people that already lived here, that this place was stolen from them.
Right.
And then they tell them, well, here's some reservations. You can, live on these reservations. That is an evil thing to do. That's like me breaking into your house, beating the dog shit out of you and your wife, raping your wife and your kids and all of that. And then I say, well, look, y'all can live in the guest house. I'm not taking everything from you. You can live in the guest house. It's still your house. It's part of your house. I want the big part. I want the good part. You can live in the guest house. I know it ain't got no AC in it. Y'all ain't been working on it. You can still live there. And that's my gift to you. That's and I'll throw you like $20 a week. You guys can get all of the food you want and everything. That's what they've done to the so-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad, and a lot of our so-called Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters. That's what they've done. But because they've made you such a slave and beat you into submission, you think that that's a hell of a deal. Like, it could be worse. And then you start to love this place. You start to love America. That's the type of evil that this place has committed. That's why this is the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And part of the reason why it's the worst thing that's ever happened to us is because we didn't even realize that it happened. We're just here today thinking we're American and we're happy to be here. It's the greatest place on earth. I got an American flag on my hard hat. Some of these guys, not me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about these people that are brainwashed by American society. I would never rock an American flag. So that's the point, man. And it's a terrible thing. Verse 6 says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. America is drunken with the blood of the saints. What is that talking about? Don't we say that America is built off of the what? Blood, sweat, and tears of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? This place would be nothing without the input that we've given, or the what's the proper word that I should say? Our contribution to this place. It's even evil to call it a contribution because it was slavery, but we built this place. We built everything about this place, and that's why it says that this woman, this whore, this America is drunken with the blood of the saints, right? Because that's how they got filled. That's how they flourished because of our blood. You had something?
It's a lot. To build on your point, sir, I was going to say, not just the prosperity from at our expense as far as enslaving us and making us work until we die, but also their bloodlust, literally, and how they're so brazen that they will murder a brother. They'll spend 10 minutes kneeling on a brother's neck, killing him, only for the whole earth to all nations seen it and shamed them. Every nation shamed them, only for a couple years later, another damn devil to choke an innocent black man for 15 minutes in broad daylight on a subway. This is like that drunkenness, not just of the prosperity, but of the actual bloodlust is just horrendous. It's a lot.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what Ezekiel the 35th chapter talks about. They didn't hate blood. That's why this class is so heavy, because they didn't hate blood when they were living off of our blood and they had the bloodlust that you're talking about. They loved the blood. Matter of fact, let's read it. I'm gonna read it. Let's see. Let me get Ezekiel 35 and 6. Right. We'll start at 5. Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. This is talking about Esau. All right. Thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. So thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Like, they didn't hate blood when they were shedding ours. So because they didn't hate blood when they were shedding our blood, their blood is going to be shed. This is the way that's the poetry of the Most High. You like blood so goddamn much. Let's see how you feel when it's gushing out of your stomach and out of your throat. Let's see how much you love blood then. You didn't hate blood when you was slitting the throats of our babies, cutting our women open, beating us to a pulp, whipping us to half to death. See how much you like that blood. See, the Most High hates bullies. That's why we hate bullies in the ISUPK. Most High hates bullies. He hates bullies. Guess what? He's going to do something about it. You love blood so much. You laugh and joke when you see blood gushing out of our babies' bodies when they're being ripped apart by alligators, or when you're dismembering them for fun because you feel like it. You're playing cat in the bag with them. You love it. Well, if you love blood so goddamn much, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to make sure a lot of blood spills out of your throat. I'm going to make sure that blood is coming out of your mouth and your eye holes. I'm going to make sure. And that's what the Most High is saying. Because, they just, they're drunk with the blood of the saints. So let's let them be drunk with their own blood. Give me 1 second so I can. It's lucky, yeah. I gotta. It's lucky, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta handle something for 2 seconds. Forgive me. Anyway, all right, forgive me, y'all. So now we're gonna go to Isaiah. I'm slacking Obadiah, the first chapter. Of course, there's only one chapter of Obadiah. We're just gonna read my favorite verse in there. I mean, it's a couple of them, but we're talking about them being drunken with the blood of the saints, right? It's talking about the same group of people. Obadiah is talking about Esau, Mount Seir, right? Verse 10 says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is one of the only, it's like I shouldn't say it like that. This is a scripture that proves that these people are going to be cut off forever. Like, this is a scripture that shows you clear as day, that the Most High is going to make these people extinct. And that's because this is the only nation that deserves it. Mm-hmm. Other nations deserve a lot of punishment, but this nation has to be getting rid. This nation has to be extinct. Has to go extinct. It has to be rid of the earth. Go ahead. Exterminated, right? It didn't sound so good when Hitler said it, to y'all. And I'm sure this doesn't sound good either. But yeah, that race of people, that nation. I'm not going to say race. I'm not trying not to get banned on here. But that nation of people deserves to be exterminated. That's just coming out of the Bible. That should be cut off forever, O Mount Seir. You understand? And why? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, right? Because they have had so much fun playing in the blood of us. They would just, if they could have a pool full of nigga blood, they would just swim in it because they love it so much. But now blood is going to cover them because they love blood so much. And now they're going to be swimming in a pool of their own blood. they're going to be gasping for air. That's the judgment now. It's righteous judgment. That's just something that we have to accept as black people. We have to accept as black people that we deserve justice. And that's just the just thing to do. It's a terrible thing when, we teach these things on the street or, in class or whatever, and somebody will come up and say, well, that's just not love. What do you mean that's not love? It's love and justice. It's everything that I've ever wanted. If, the bully, if you think about being a child, and you're being bullied and you can't fight back, the just thing is that, that bully gets reprimanded. That bully got to get taken care of, and he's got to be expelled from the school so he doesn't bully anybody else. But that's the way the Most High looks at our oppressor. He looks at him like the bully that must be expelled from the school because he has to stop doing this to people. And that's what the Most High is going to do. I'm going to go back, forgive me, to Isaiah, the 47th chapter, and we're going to read the 4th verse. And now this is the other side of it. This is the other side, because once again, we have the side that shows us that, our oppressor is going to be put down. They're going to be brought down to a lower state, be brought down to the dust, right? And that's what we've been reading about this whole time. But now we're going to read verse 4 so we can see the other side of it. Verse 4 says, as for our Redeemer, the Most High of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. The Most High gave us over to Esau, gave us over to the daughter of Babylon, gave us over to this place, gave us over to America. And because he was angry with us, because we find out in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter that if we don't do what he says, these things would happen to us, right? So you say, yeah, I was wroth. I was very angry with my people, right? And goes on to say, thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Meaning that goes back into Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. They're not going to have respect for old nor young. And that's what the Most High witnessed. The Most High witnessed them doing these things to us. You haven't had any respect towards the ancient. You didn't give them any mercy. You didn't give the young any mercy. Verse 7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. Meaning I'll be a king or a queen, whatever you want to call it. Be a lady just means in this specific, metaphor, it's just talking about being on a high estate, right? Being esteemed. Like, how you would like open up the car door for a woman, chivalry, pull out the chair for her, take care of her like that. Well, this is what America is saying. I'll be a lady forever, meaning I'll be good forever. I'll be straight. My kingdom is never going to fall, right? The middle of verse 7 says, so that thou didst not lay these things to heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Now, this is a terrible thing for the Most High to say to a nation of people. He's saying you're not realizing the latter end of what's going to happen here. Now, y'all are Edomites, so y'all, of course, don't read the Bible, nor can you understand the Bible. But, the Bible prophesies this thing comes to an end. Did you know that? Right? That's what, so many white, I try not to get banned. So many of our oppressors, they sit up in these churches and read these Bibles, and then they don't realize that it's talking about their destruction. They don't realize that. And that's what the Most High is saying. You didn't lay these things to heart. The things that are written in this book, you didn't lay them to heart. These things didn't touch your soul. You understand? And you didn't remember the latter end of it either. You didn't read Obadiah 1 and 10. You didn't read the fact that you're going to be cut off forever. Right? I'm going to get it. Let me see. Let's just keep reading, right? So verse 8. Therefore, hear now this. This is what I'm talking about. This is the other side of it, right? Thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is how our oppressor thinks. They think like nothing bad is ever going to happen. I'm not going to sit as a widow. I'm not going to, my kingdom isn't going to be destroyed. I can do this forever and a day, and nothing will ever happen to me. I'm even going to, just in case this whole thing about Christ is real, I'm going to get a space force and make sure I kill Jesus when he comes back, because they feel like they're untouchable. Yep. And they have done no wrong. They're given to pleasures and they dwell carelessly, right? And they say, I am, and there's none beside me. Why? Because they feel like they're top, creme de la creme. They can do whatever they want. Nobody can touch America. That's what they think. Go ahead.
It's Slovakia are two phrases that go hand in hand with them being careless and just being so proud. If you don't like it, go back to Africa. And God damn, what was the other one? They love saying this. Slovakia. I can't think of the other one right now, but for sure, they're so careless and so proud. They see themselves as gods so seriously that they literally took the book that has a black god, formulated their own, and came up with Zeus and Apollo and Thor.
Yeah.
And
No, for sure. This thing is, you gotta understand this. It's the fact that they are so careless just shows you how stupid they are. Like, you gotta be a dumb son of a. I'm trying not to. It's lucky, y'all. Forgive me. You got to be an idiot though, just to read these things and not understand that they're not that this is not for you. It's not in your favor. All right, so we're gonna keep reading. Verse 9 says, "But these two things," and I'm slacking. Let me read the end of verse 8. It says, "Neither shall I know the loss of children." Like, America feels like they're not gonna even understand, or they're never gonna feel, not understand. They're never going to feel the loss of children. I'm going to show y'all something. Verse 9 says, "But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood." Now, you thought you would never be a widow, and you thought you would never know the feeling of losing children. But the Most High said, in one moment, in one day, you're going to understand what it feels like to lose your children. You're going to understand what those parents of them babies that was tossed to alligators as bait. You understand what that feels like. You understand? "They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments." Psalm 137 comes to mind immediately. They're going to know the loss of children. All right. This Psalms 137 is a major cut when. Okay, y'all know the Babylonian kingdom, or Babylon in times of old. Y'all know that actually was a Hamitic nation. They were Ethiopians. Like, Babylon was an Ethiopian country or empire, whatever you want to call it. They were Cushites. That's totally separate from Edom and Esau, right? But we're not talking about Babylon as the city state or as the country or whatever you want to call it. We're talking about Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Psalms 137:7. "Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom," talking about Edom, "in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof." Raise, R-A-S-E, means destruction or to set upon fire, right? Verse 8, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed." Once again, this is the correlation. Esau is being called the daughter of Babylon, even though we're not talking about the actual Babylonians, because they was Cushites. They were Ethiopian. It's a totally different family lineage. They're extremely far removed from Shem, because you got Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Cush, or the Ethiopians, are Ham, right? Esau is Shem. So why is it calling them the daughter of Babylon? Because this is a prophetic nature of what is happening today. This place is Mystery Babylon the Great. These people are the daughter of Babylon. And this is what the scriptures is saying. It goes hand in hand. Remember, they said, I'll never feel what it's like to have the loss of a child. I'll never understand what it's like to be a widow. Verse 8, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us." What does that mean? I'm going to reward you the way you rewarded me. That's like eye for an eye. You plug my eye out, I'm taking your goddamn eye. You fed my babies to alligators, I'm going to feed your babies to alligators. Let's see what else. Let's see what David wrote about this same matter, right? Verse 9 says, "Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones." Like that's what's coming. Now, this is the Bible. This is God. And the Most High is okay with this. David was a man after the Most High's own heart. The Most High is fine with this. You know why? Because it's justice. It has to happen. They feel like they'll never understand what it's like to lose a child. But there will be a day that comes, they'll understand exactly what it's like to lose a child. You understand? That pain that they have given us, they'll feel it double. The scriptures say, render unto them double, fill their cup double for all of their abominations. You understand? Let me see something. I think we're gonna close out. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, so we'll be closing out. It's what?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. All right. We're gonna close out with the prayers. Amayim, which means to stand. Payagudan, which means to sar, or turn and face the east. All right, we're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Awanawa, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamaya, Nathanawa, Lakam, Kayawam, Masalakanawa, Kawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawathinawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Manasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wathapara, Laiwalamya, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Be a cock of the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ma'abukushah, Nathanda Nawahaka, Hakat Larapa'ah, Kal Maka'ala, Wakal Madawa, Hakat Latahar, Amatazariah, Hakat Lakwayam, Amathium, Hakat Arakawa, Atama'ala, Agarashan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Waraman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharya, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'im, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Ayad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Shaza'athka, Waba, Wa'aka, Ma'itha, Wide, Awalam. All right, I'm going to read that same Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasharim
he that keepeth Yasharim
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in,
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
All right, we're going to read Psalms, the 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Alahayo,
Alahaya,
Adama Yalaka,
Adama Yalaka,
Al Thakarash,
Al Takarash,
Wa Al Thashakwat,
Al Tashkwat,
All,
Al
Kayahana,
Kayahana,
Awayabika,
Awu Yabika,
Yahamaya 1,
Yahamaya 1,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
A'imuka,
Yarayamwa,
Yarayamwa,
Sawada,
Sawada,
Wayatha,
Waitha,
Yaitazawa,
Yaitazawa,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magaya,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashala,
Sham Yashala,
Awada,
Awada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa,
Nawaitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakabwa,
Yakabwa,
Alyaka,
Alyaka,
Baryath,
Baryath,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahaya,
Ahaya,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Washamayaliyam,
Yeshalayim,
Mawa Abba,
Mawaba,
Salaki, Wahagaryam,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalak,
Waimalak,
Palashah,
Palashah,
Anyashabya,
Anyashabya,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamashawar,
Ramashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarwai,
Zarwai,
Labanya Lawat,
Labani Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadia,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabian,
Manakal,
Manakal,
Kwayashwan,
Kwayashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamagwa,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Dara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'adama,
La'adama,
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yabmawa,
Yabmawa,
Ka'ira,
Kaira,
Wakaza Abba,
Kaza'ab,
Wakatazal,
Kazazal,
Slaki, Wakaza Bak,
Kazabak,
Wakatazal,
Kazazal,
Mana'ai,
Mana'ah,
Call,
Call,
Nasaya Kamwa,
Messiah Kamwa,
Ashar,
Shar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nairashah,
Nairashah,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath,
Ah,
Na'awath,
Nawat,
Alahayam,
Alahaya,
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 Shathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagogala,
Kagagala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya Raka,
Lapanya Raka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Thala Ira,
Baba Ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakala Haba,
Wakala Haba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Aryam,
Aryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Taradapma,
Basairaka,
Basairaka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Wapathka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan,
Kwalawan,
Webakwashwa,
Webakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
like Wayabahawa,
Weyabahawa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Wekaparwa,
Weyaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Weyabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Weyadaiwa,
Kayatha,
Kayatha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Ayawan,
Ayawan,
Alkal,
Alkal,
Alretazah.
Alrat.
All right, Psalms 83rd chapter in English. Keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still, O God.
Be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden
and
ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a
and
nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation,
that the name of Yashala
that the name of Yashala
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee,
the tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the
and
Ishmaelites,
the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
and Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have opened the children of
They
Lot.
have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera,
As to Sisera.
as to Jabin,
As to
at the
Jabin.
brook of Kasan,
The perfect son.
which perished and endured.
Which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a red.
and like Zahab.
And like Zahab.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Zabah,
All their princes as the Baal.
and as Zamunah,
And as Amun.
who said,
Who said,
Let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to ourselves
the houses of
the
God
houses of
in
God
possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy
So
tempest,
persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy
And
storm.
make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
that men may know that thou,
And men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high of all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth.
All right, we're gonna get blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah
wa
Yahweh,
Yahweh Shai,
wa Yahweh Shai,
wa Ma'aka'ala,
wa Ma'aka'ala,
wa Alahayim,
wa Alahayim,
Atazab Yah,
Tzab Yah,
Alawab Yahana,
Alawab Yohana,
Ha'alawapiam,
Alawab Yohana,
Hasaranyam,
Hasaranyam,
Akwatazayanyam,
Kwatazayanyam,
Hakayayam,
Hakayayam,
wa Agwathian,
wa Agwathian,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
wa Shem Yahweh Shai,
wa Hashem Yahweh Shai,
the Waraman.
the Waraman.
In the English, bless you Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels, commanding General Yohanan,
Commanding General Yohana,
the generals,
the generals,
the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it.
So while you're shopping, we can be seated. Did you want to get anointed?
Come on, sir.
I swear.
Blessing of wakefulness. Quickening spirit.
Sure. All right. You know the drill out. I'm gonna say these prayers. I point to you, say name 3 times. Yabaraka Yahweh, Waya Shamarka, Yar Yahweh Pan Yahweh, Alyaka, Waya Kanka, Yasha Yahweh Pan Yahweh, Alyaka, Waya Shamlaka, Shalom, Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rapa, Magan, Hagan,
Kabatama,
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 Kabatama.
Kabatama, Ba Shem Yahweh Shai, the Wadaman. All right, what we just said in the English was Yahweh bless thee and keep thee, Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect. Kabatama. That comes from Numbers 6, verses 22 through 27. We'll close out the Sabbath service. Individual Majum, Shabbat, Majum, Barak,
Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai.
with that, dismiss. Yadimata.